What's happening, y'all? I hope y'all can hear me. I want to do a brief video on axes, hatchets, things of that nature. So, a little while ago, I was talking to a friend who mentioned to me while I was, typing to a friend. I guess that's how we do nowadays. Who mentioned to me that if you wanted a quality axe, you got different options, but if you wanted a quality axe, some of the best ones were, I forget the names now. I mean, Wetterlings, Gransfors, Brooks. I'm not great with the pronunciation. And I think another one that I forget now. Now, the Gransfors Brooks axes are out of, was it Sweden, I think? And for a hand forged piece, you were talking about things that were quite a bit very expensive, and in some cases being shipped internationally. So obviously that was outside of what I could do. And when we think about SHTF, a lot of the time we're thinking about top of the line products, something that can hold it down for me if I ever get into a situation where my life depends on this tool and its quality, etc. So we want the best, or at least something that'll really do the job. So that's part of our leaning toward high quality tools like that. However, I mean, who's got hundreds of dollars just to put on all these things? I mean, if you want a nice knife, if you're not a bladesmith, yes, you're talking about $200. If you want a nice axe, you're talking about $200-300. I mean, it's a lot. So at any rate, I found online a group of guys, the Axe Junkies page, and I think some ladies on there too, who really seem to know a lot about axes, and that was really cool. So I learned some different things. I'm not a specialist in any of this stuff at all. I'm just learning. So I don't know the type of head that this is. I actually got this a long time ago, but I did a pretty poor job of hanging this, and actually recently damaged it a little bit. But I actually hung my own head there, and it's definitely this is definitely going to come loose at a certain point. Yeah, the video's not doing a great job with that. It's definitely going to come loose at a certain point, and I'll fix it and improve with my skill level. The point of this video really is to say that if you take the time to learn about some of this stuff, you can really do a lot for really low. So a lot of these axe heads were either made, this one's made, and I really am not good at forge welding, and this poor guy is all busted up and just really I think I managed to forge weld down there in this section down here, but a lot of this is not properly welded up and everything. But this thing I've used and used and used and used and used and used, and this is spring steel, probably like something like 5160. It's from an old leaf spring. We finally after years I finally went and forged this puppy with a friend, so that took a little bit more skill, but that's also doable. What I'm saying? When you think about skill sets, you got to think, well, you don't plan to die anytime soon, right? And if you have some time, well, you can get with people and learn stuff, and then 5 years from now, you too can produce something that would have cost hundreds of dollars and just been outside of what would have made sense. So the Axe Junkies page introduced me to the idea. Sorry, we're kind of having a storm here, so if you're picking up all that wind, I apologize. The Axe Junkies page really introduced me to the idea of getting axes at flea markets and what you're looking for. So you're looking for old blades. Now this actually kind of comes in because I really got excited about really old blades, and so I'm finding some older stuff. I mean, some of this stuff is a couple hundred years old, at least the patterns are. Um, and that's the crazy thing about it is they'll still be high quality. But you can get an older, worn out hatchet head, axe head, etc. And this one really, honestly, I mean, it's not hung very well, but all that can be fixed up. And what did this cost me? I mean, this might have cost me like $15, $15. That's a lot different from like 175, 200, whatever. And these are high quality. Like when I was grinding this, the sparks that is throwing off is definitely high carbon steel, And I mean, you may not be a leather worker, but why not take some time and figure out and go ahead and, make some sheaths that might, look ugly at first, and look better. I was splitting mostly with this puppy here. And, I didn't even really understand sharpening at that point, but it did the job, And then I bought this guy. So that's oh, good Lord. You do that. This is an old-fashioned splitter, and it does the job, But I didn't really know how to use it that well. So a buddy recently was showing me, some. Well, he was showing me, his take on how to split with that particular tool. This guy has got a beveled edge, this particular type of axe head, and I just see these online. I think they're beautiful, and I find them at flea markets, for the low. I don't remember, that might have been 15 too. This is old. These are old tools, and they're all quality because the modern tools, they don't have the same quality. They're all shipped in from China. This stuff is, a lot of this is American made. You can't really see that. Some True Temper. This one's Plum. These don't really have names on them, but these are also got that single bevel. And part of the reason why you have this is either hewing, where you got a log set up and you're actually hewing the side of it to make, it flat, like, what you would with a board, or like what you would need for making boards, or, log cabins, construction and stuff like that. Big solid wood construction versus stick construction, like the modern kind of skinny pieces that we have. And so, but I suspect that with this too, there's some carving things that I can do with this as well. So now for largely, 20 to 15, I think sometimes I paid a little bit more for some of these, but most of them have been around 20 to 15 bucks. This was a roofing hatchet, I forget, but anyways, I cut out part of this with a saw and then ground it, right? And so it can be kind of a carving tool once it's finished, right? And fixed up a little bit. And so all this stuff really cheaply, none of it hundreds of dollars. It's all quality steel. It's a lot of it is American made, either in the past or recently American made. And this guy, the back of that pole was totally damaged and jacked up, and I got on the grinder, spent some time and fixed it all up. So these are all things that people can do. These are all things that you should do. And if you're thinking about either a tool for use, shtf, whatever, just the future, having a skill to pass it down to your kids is relevant. We need lots of skills, but being able to handle an axe, used for carving, used for whatever, that's a valuable skill set, and one that we should think about. So these things are available. The skills are attainable, whether it takes you, a quick trip to the flea market and then some time learning on a grinder, which costs maybe 20, 30 bucks, or whether it takes, more time of a couple of years. All this stuff is accessible, and it doesn't have to be this enormous price that isn't attainable. So that's that. Video is a bit long, but this is the collection here. Still got some pieces that aren't even here, aren't depicted. I'll probably get more, and yeah, peace.